All right. Hey guys, it's RJ with Pallmann. We're here today at Floor Mechanics talking about Natureseal and Whiteseal specifically. So there are two newest sealers. They're not new. They've been around for a couple years now, but they are pigmented sealers. So they are identical products in the bottle. The only difference is physical pigment load. So Natureseal is about 1.1% white. Whiteseal is 1.8% white. So it's about twice as white. Doesn't sound like a heavy pigment load, but it's a very powerful pigment. So it will make a white floor. If you do 2 coats with the Whiteseal, you will have a very white floor. Again, they are identical products. So if you can put a Natureseal down, oh, we want a little bit whiter, you can coat over the top of that with Whiteseal. They could actually be mixed together if you needed to. Wouldn't advise it. It's hard to repair unless you have an exact ratio. But they are identical products except for pigment load. This is our standard 11 millimeter microfiber roller that we use for all of our waterborne products. Works fine with Natureseal and Whiteseal. We also added a 9 millimeter, so a little bit shorter, just to control the amount of product that you're putting down on the floor. Either one of them will work. We kind of steer guys towards the shorter napped roller just because you can get less product on the floor, but either one of them will work. I've got the shorter napped roller loaded up on here. These products really like to work out of a paint tray with these products. It is very beneficial to get the product evenly, because if you pour it on the floor and you develop that line, now you have to move that line a lot to get it to disperse. Whereas I'll show you as we go through with the roller, we can put it evenly across our 4-foot coating area. So we don't have any walls here, so I won't go through the practice, but typically cut in just with a decent latex brush. And we're really making sure that we get it underneath any baseboards so we don't have a dark line right there at the baseboard. But as we cut in, we would cut our butt joints cross grain like this, tuck it under the baseboard. You can feather it out a little bit if you want. But really that's about all the cut-in we're doing and then in our corners. We're going to cut our corners and our door jambs with the brush. Most of it we're doing with the roller. So that's the physical cut-in. You can use a trim pad. You can use a brush. You could use a mini roller for a lot of it. So one thing, this panel's been sanded to 100 grit mesh power on the Spider. So relatively smooth, not overly smooth, but relatively smooth. But then to get the product even, one of our colleagues in our company, Jason Mack out of Nashville, Tennessee, he came to us after he got hired and he said, hey, every time I use a pigmented product, I like to water pop the floor. And I've been doing this for 32 years and I had never water popped before a sealer, but a light bulb went off for me. It really made sense that we're looking for even pigment absorption, just like you are with stain. So why wouldn't you water pop? It makes a lot of sense. So not 100% required, but it will make it easier to get these products even across the floor if you do water pop. You don't need to let the water pop dry overnight. These are water-based products, waterborne products. So at that point, once it is visibly dry on the surface, you're clear to go. Whereas if you're staining it, you need to meter check it or wait overnight to get that water to dry. So I'm going to pull up a little product in my big paint tray. I'm going to roll it back out so that I'm a pretty dry roller. I'm not dripping anywhere. And then in a big house or anywhere, I'm going to work in about a 4-foot wide section. And I'm going to spread the product out kind of like that, like what I call a W. And then I'll always leave on a corner I'm always going to leave myself a place to step out so that I can cross cut in along the baseboard. So I can pull that out that distance away from the wall. That's how I move my cutout in and keep it all even everywhere. So I don't have a possibility of a transition between a brush or pad coat and the roller. So I'm going to cut that like that. I'm actually a little bit dry here, so I'm going to keep this shallow. So I'm going to come across, hand on top of the pole, a little bit of weight. I'm going to roll through it again, so now I get that entire 4-foot wide section wet. You can hear the roller. That's a little bit different from what we're used to. And then I'm going to come just slightly behind my wet line, and I'm going to feather this out. And this product, you can't physically overwork it like a lot of waterborne products. This you could roll through it as many times as you need to get it even. It is going to dry, so we do want to keep moving backwards. The length walls on a strip oak are not going to give you a lot of grief as far as overlapping them a little bit. This line is the line you want to keep moving backwards. So on a real hot day, maybe you're shrinking this down to about 3 feet. On a normal day, you're 4 to 5 feet wide across the room wall to wall. So that I'm going to go back in, get myself a little bit of product, roll it back out so that I'm pretty dry. Again, pretty dry. I'm going to do what I kind of call the W, where I just get it across the surface. Then I'm going to go through it. I'm not picking up the roller at this point. I'm just now going to get my entire surface, my entire square wet. Come across like that. Once I'm there, then I'm going to roll through it and feather out into the field. Okay, and if you have a heavy line like this, guys, come back in there and pick that up. Don't leave it there. It will show. It is white, so it will show. Then we're just going to repeat that process across the floor. These are solvent-free, so they're going to take longer to dry than clear and color, our other sealers in our line. These we want an actual 90 minutes for these to dry before recoating them. Being solvent-free, they just take slightly longer for the water to evaporate, and we don't want water soaking into the floor from here. Again, they can be single-coated, they can be double-coated. I would say on a white oak surface, we're pretty much going to recommend you to do 2 coats because we want to take the permeability down because we have decent tannin blockers in this product, but as thin as we're putting it on, we need a little bit more product to really help dissolve that tannin so that it doesn't show once we put a water-based finish on there. So on a white oak, not 100% necessary, but you will have better luck with doing a second coat of these products. I kind of think of it like painting a wall. There's a lot of paints out there that say you can paint them in 1 coat. I promise you it's easier and it's going to be a better job if you do it in 2 with paint and with these as well. So we'll keep moving this back. We're going to let this dry for about an hour and then we're going to put some another coat on and then some finish. So thanks for watching, guys. And yeah, hit us up with any questions.